Alright guys, with the timing set and the carb rebuilt and the engine all rebuilt and everything like that, I want to see if I can get this thing fired up before I finish up the rear fender and some of the other little touches. So I'm going to change the oil, put the gas tank back on, give everything a once over, make sure we're good, finish, actually put these spark plugs in, not leave them loose, and then we're going to try and start it. Let's see if this thing will run. Ah, shit. Forgot a drip tray. I gotta take the whole carb and everything off. That was dumb. The carb actually has some cables attached to it. I'll have to adjust these, and I think I'm going to put the exhaust on. There's really no reason not to at this point, so. Alright, there we go. If you guys didn't catch what happened there, I put this one on, but I mounted to the lower part of this bracket, so when I went to go put this one on, it didn't line up and I got all confused. Front one goes at the top, that one comes down underneath. All good. Bike's been apart for so long, I forgot the configuration of the exhaust. Alright, well, something I didn't check is the fuel line. Since I put this tank riser on it and lifted the fuel tank, this no longer reaches. So I think I have some fuel line in stock. I'm gonna cut it, get a longer one, and hopefully we're good. Alright, so fuel line's in, spark plugs are torqued down and attached. I put fuel in here, switch on. Alright, so the M unit's got power. Let's turn the fuel on. Fingers crossed. The battery's dead. One sec. Alright, so I got a charger on it. It's been on there for like a solid 2 minutes, but I'm impatient. Let's try this again. No, I gotta wait. Alright, third time's a charm. Well, it starts. Right, so the fact that it started is very exciting. However, that's a problem. So it seemed like when I was running, it came from this hole right here, where you see it dripping right now. So I gotta figure out what that hole is and why there's oil coming out of it. So I learned something about that hole in the bottom. So apparently that is there from the factory. I'm not sure the purpose, but it has a press fit plug in it. So when I cut this off at the bottom, I cut that plug out, so the hole's just leaking oil. Like, my plan is I bought one of these Allen kind of little threaded plugs, and I'm gonna try and tap that hole with a 1/4-20 to try and plug that hole with this, and if this works and it fits, I'm gonna Loctite this in so it never comes out. Okay, so I did my best to make sure that the burrs come out with the tap, as well as throwing the shop vac on to try and suck anything out. But just in case, I'm actually gonna start the bike, let the oil flow through and push anything that's in that hole out. In hindsight, I should have done this while it was off. I didn't realize that I had opened up that hole and then it was gonna start leaking. So, you know, hindsight's 20/20, it's already on the bike, it's filled with oil and everything. So I'm just gonna plug it for now. So I have it all tapped, and I have the thing here, and I'm gonna cover it in some red Loctite, make sure that doesn't come out, and that should hold it, because there's really not that much pressure, oil pressure on that side of it. So alternative to this is if you had it off and you're good at welding aluminum, you can weld that hole right up. As far as I'm aware, there's no reason why you would ever need access to that. And while I'm here, I'm also going to try and address this. So the way this works is we have this that screws right into the standoffs, and then this used to be riveted to that. So I could re-rivet it, which I don't love the idea of, or what I'm going to do is actually just tap these holes and put little machine screws to hold this in there where the rivets used to be. Now, someone commented and brought up a very good point. You could, well, I guess you could just run this, but you run the risk of water getting in those holes if you ride in the rain or anything. Or you could get a cover that doesn't have the 5 on it, like a blank one, and then you could just mount that just like that. No need for this inner cover. So that's a great idea. Unfortunately, I have this. I don't have a blank one, so I'd rather save the money and tap this, or tap this to keep this. So I was not successful in tapping this plate where the rivets used to be so that I could put this on kind of like that, how it used to be. Now, that's not to say it can't be done. In fact, I know it can be done. I've seen people do it. I'm going to chalk this up to either operator error using the tap, or the fact that I'm using a really cheap tap set that I got a long time ago. And it's given me problems before, and every time I say next time I'm going to buy a new one, you know, we've all been there. So I didn't have any luck with that, and at that point the holes are too reamed out to really do much with. This is going to work for now. So I'm going to get the new gasket I got on it, pop that on there, and just like that, good to go. We're finally nearing a running, mostly finished bike, assuming there's no issues. And I couldn't be happier. It's been a long time coming. So many things came up in the meantime with the move and then daily driver problems and all kinds of things that put this on hold. And I'm so excited to get this done. I know some of you have been asking and waiting for a finale on this and wondering if I still had the bike. It's here. I'm finishing it. Trust me, no one is more excited to have this project done than I am. I can't wait to ride this thing. So for those of you who stuck around waiting for these final videos, thank you so much for staying around. I'm sorry that it's taken so long.